On today's episode of Disaster Saves, the Tsar is in a bit of a problem. After restoring the Russian Empire, this player got Barbarossa, and he got Barbarossa hard. Now, I'll not go into detail, but in short, he tells me he set up a decent defensive line along the old Stalin line, and then tried an offensive against Turkey, was not paying attention and got naval invaded, which then managed to cut off his armies in Turkey. As you can see, there is no more army in Turkey. Lost those units, lost most of his, well, all of his armored core, and as a result had to start peeling units away from the defensive line, which caused the defensive line to weaken, and the Germans broke through, and that brings us to this position. But there is good news as well. It looks like the Allies are invading Italy, so it's probably going to be a matter of holding out, but let's see just how bad this really is. What I like about this save is not so much that it's terribly set up. This player knew what they were doing. They started with a plan, they built an industry, they built an army, and then ran into a problem and failed to properly deal with it. So that is what we're going to do today, adjusting plans and moving forward in a more dynamic situation. First of all, I hate the way your armies are set up, so I'm going to destroy all of your front lines. Sorry. I'm going to reorganize. This army without a general is on Denikin's side, so he can fight on Denikin's army. I'm going to give up these two provinces next to Rostov because they're plains and there's no point in holding on to them. It's very important though that we do hold on to Rostov. This army, I'm going to delete the front line, set it up again as a field marshal order. It's so much cleaner. We're going to start a fighting retreat. I don't want my units getting encircled, so we're going to retreat along the entire length of the front until we are on more defensible ground. We do have to make sure that we absolutely do not give up more supply hubs than we absolutely must. So we must hold on to Rostov and pretty much everything along the front. Every supply hub that we can hold on to, we have to hold on to, which we'll do. I think we can do that. There's a couple of units in the queue and we're going to force deploy them as soon as we can. I think this is where the biggest gap is around Orel, so we're going to start force deploying units here. Let's go. Denikin, your army shall grow larger under Grigory Kulik, I guess, this very angry man. And I want to give this man a general as well, but I'm out of generals. I think all I have left is a field marshal. Field marshal will have to do. Okay, once I get enough units out, Denikin's army should be sufficient to hold that front, especially once we've got it tightened down a little bit so it's a little less fragile. To the south here, we have to make sure that we don't overextend. There's no need to attack, so don't attack when you don't have to, except here. It is absolutely vital, without a doubt, critical to our very survival that we retake Tsaritsyn. It's going to be what my strategy hinges on. Tsaritsyn is the furthest supply hub that the Germans have managed to capture. If we take it back, all they have in the region is Krasnodar and Astrakhan, and some parts further south. If I take Tsaritsyn and get mobile units ready to break through, I can push through weakened German units and rush south along the railway to take Astrakhan, completely cutting off the easternmost section of the German line, destroying those units and getting supply for myself, setting up for the next stage of my operations. We are going to play encircle and destroy. It always works and it's I just love it. I love it. Eventually the AI runs out of units and you can do whatever you want. But first, of course, we must have units. So I'm going to force deploy these infantry units once I can. And these are not terrible tanks, but not what I would like. You have a few too many motorized. So I would like to stick with 30 mediums, 30 with mediums, like so. 42 is my preference, but I don't think you have enough tanks for it. So let's do this. Speed is good. Hardness is good. Armor is good. Armor could be better, but it's all right. I'm going to add support artillery, support anti-air, and engineers there. And I'm going to deploy these at a high priority. The guards tank gore. Of course, I am a lot of equipment short. The reason I am a lot of equipment short is because your divisions are not exactly optimal. For one, cavalry recon on infantry, it's almost never worth it. Let's say that. It's almost never worth it. Just gonna remove them. Then your combat width is 25. While it's not game breaking in any way, it's not what I prefer to roll with. I prefer to roll with something smaller. 21 combat width, just 9 infantry, 1 artillery, has a decent amount of bite to it, but it's cheap and it doesn't suck up too much supply. So this is what I will be going for. Coincidentally, that frees up a lot of infantry equipment. And Shkuro's army has a couple of Gravadia units, so your alternate infantry template, this is a little too heavy on the artillery. Like, it can work, but no, this is, yeah, I'm gonna change these units out as soon as I can, because I don't want to use these. I'm sorry, I'm just not. All the other templates, yeah, I like to just clean this up. It just gets too cluttered, man. You've got a decent sized air force. I'm going to concentrate most of the cast on the south, where I want to make my breakthroughs, and I'll keep the regular fighters around just to shoot down enemy bombers to keep the bombing penalty down, because you are getting bombed to hell. Let's fix the convoys being raided. Let's not trade with the US, because everything going by sea is going to get raided. It's just, it is what it is. I will keep our trade routes either landlocked or with Japan. That way we don't have too much of an issue. Trade doesn't have to go through here because it's cut off. As long as the trade goes on the other side of the country, you should be fine. Construction. You're building a lot of air bases? Yeah, no, you don't need that many air bases, my friend. I know you've been pushed back, but you should still be fine. I'm gonna let the rest of this finish. Military factories are all right. Could be, yeah, they're all right. But I think I want railways as well, because the railway network is a little disrupted and a little is being generous. So I'm going to get everything here up to level 2 at least, and then we can see from there. Probably upgrade them as we go to level 3, etc., etc. Just because supply must flow. The fact that your capital is in Leningrad, sorry, St. Petersburg isn't helping. Moscow is the better choice, but I can see why you'd move to St. Petersburg for historical reasons. Focuses. You're doing Eastern development. Yeah, it looks like you've got most of the important stuff. I would have gone foreign experts instead of national specialists, but it is what it is. I think we'll get the extra research slot here. A couple of bonuses here, like Tankograd is huge. Adaptable army is pretty nice. Most of these are pretty good. And of course, I think I'm going to go third Rome. It's super memey. It's ridiculous, but it is very, very powerful. So we might just get rid of the Tsar anyway. And all these guys are calling me to war with Japan. No, we're not in a position to go to war with Japan, especially not after having given them Vladivostok, it seems. So we might join that war eventually, but not now. Oh, we still have a navy. That's impressive. And it's all the way out here in the far east. So I'm gonna sail my navy back home towards Murmansk. Maybe they can defend against possible naval landings in the Barents Sea. I wouldn't put it past the AI. And there's 2 ships left in the Black Sea. You guys just scuttle back to Rostov. Okay, I'm gonna slow the game down and we're gonna get going. So as long as the assault on Tsaritsyn goes at least reasonably well, we should be able to get supply in that region. Let's reorganize the production a bit. We will need a lot of infantry equipment, but not that much. Artillery, we can always use a little more until we fix their supply issues. Everything else seems reasonable, but I would like more tanks. I would like a lot more tanks. We don't need that many airplanes. I love CAS. Don't need that much of it. I'd rather have the tanks right now. Advanced close air support. What are you making? This is decent. Bit expensive, but it's decent. And then we have the improved. I can make advanced airframes here. And I just like slapping cannons on it and calling it a day. Double cannons and another double cannons. Best engine that will fit. And self-sealing fuel tanks and armor plates. The attack on Tsaritsyn is ongoing. If we can retake it, that would be not just huge, but game-changing. If we take Tsaritsyn, we rob the Germans of most of their supply in the region. If they don't have supply, there's not much they can do to us. So here's hoping we can get there in one piece. All right, we've taken Tsaritsyn. Let's just ease off the pressure now. Don't want to overdo it here. Oh, research, yeah. Basic guided missiles. No, I'd rather have night vision and improved decimetric radar. Not bad, but I'd much rather have fuel refining. Yeah. Let's get fuel refining, because until I retake the Caucasus, oil is actually going to be an issue. Let's see how well we can hold now. Hooray! First encirclement of the campaign. For those of you who've watched a couple of my disaster videos already, you'll know that this is how I fix most disasters. Small encirclements until we can do big encirclements. Just whittle down the enemy numbers. As far as the rest... Oh, what is this? Eisenbahn battery. You didn't tell me you've captured railway artillery. Okay, so I'm assigning this to the front. This is definitely going to be helpful. Now, as far as the main front is going. Mostly stable, force deploying a lot more infantry divisions. As we get along with things, this should be fine. It's not going to be perfect, but it should be fine. The southern front, as soon as we took Tsaritsyn, all northern action pretty much stopped here, so there's just a lot of pressure around Rostov still, but we're doing okay. We're gonna hold off for attacking until I can force deploy my tanks. I want my tanks out in the field, and then we can party. I want to use these boys to push from Tsaritsyn along this railway down to Astrakhan. The reason I don't want to use my infantry is because they are slow and they tend to just push the enemy back, while tanks can break through and keep going before the infantry can redeploy. This is very far away from our own supply, but if we can get there and take the railway while doing it, we can cut off the entire section of the German front here while giving ourselves more supply. So that's why I want to use tanks and not infantry. Yay! Second small encirclement. It's not much, but it's honest work. Every division we destroy is a division I don't have to fight. Good. And every now and then the Germans are going to launch an attack. It is what it is. Eventually this is going to stabilize. Trust me. We just have to give up the ground that we can afford to give up while not overstretching our lines and while not running too far away from our own supply lines. Speaking of supply lines, I'm going to prioritize my supply lines over these military factories. I definitely need my railways to be functional. Let's prioritize that. Of course, the military factories are great. I just need supplies. Everything up to like level 3, 2 at the least, preferably even level 3. All right, we've got Eastern Development done. Part of me wants to go Third Rome now. It's a pretty decent boost, but I don't want to sack my Tsar just like that. You know, he tried. So maybe let's go for Tankograd first, or not. I mean, there's a bunch of bonuses here. I'll just get the research slot. Actually, it's 1944. I don't need a research slot. You know, the Tsar had plenty of time to fix this. He didn't. Third Rome it is. All right, looks like we've managed to ease a significant amount of pressure off Rostov. It seems like the city will hold. Last couple of divisions going out, and that should see the main front secured, or secured as best I can. You know, I want to start promoting a lot of these guys, but I need to hold on to my command power so I can hire a general to command my tank corps, because we are all out of generals. Everybody's been assigned, so yeah, not great. That's one of the annoying things about playing White Russia. You don't really have a lot of leaders. Oh, that reminds me, spies. Spies are going to be very helpful. I could use them to build like collaboration governments, but I'm not going to. For now, I'm going to concentrate my spies around the Caucasus region to lower the enemy's entrenchment. If I build spy network here, the enemy entrenchment is going to be lower, and it's going to make it easier for me to push through and more difficult for them to attack me, because it also reduces their preparation bonus, I think. So it is what it is. It's very helpful to have spies in the region that you're actually fighting military operations in. We are going to be recruiting someone here, promoting pretty much anyone I can get. Career officer, sure. I think I'm gonna use Derenik Surkov. Yeah, he's mostly commanding infantry, but I can just switch these things around, and now he's commanding tanks. Okay, the armor is arriving. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope this works as we plan. Supply is a bit of an issue here, so I hope we can outrun our supply trouble. Let's get going. We are going to run along this railway all the way to the south and hit Astrakhan. Doing so will effectively cut off the easternmost section of the German army, and I'm gonna launch pinning attacks on the flanks to make sure my tanks can operate as intended. And for some reason, oh god, it's January. I shouldn't be doing this in deep snow. But once we push through this province, we should be out of the deep snow, and this is all plains without combat modifiers. All right, we're moving. The tanks are moving. The infantry is keeping the door open, and the tanks are rolling. Oh yeah, we punched right through. Whatever they are scrambling to get in position will not arrive in time. I have to keep railroading by hitting Control B on the infantry, just so these guys will actually get in position and do what I need them to do. I am running into a bit of an issue around Astrakhan. It looks like... damn it! Okay, for some unfathomably stupid reason, there is a river crossing between Astrakhan and the tile to the north of Astrakhan, despite there not actually being a river there. That sucks, but we'll have to work our way around it then. While we're here, let's try to make the most of the situation. We can hurt the Germans, and we can hurt the Germans badly here. Now, it would be nice if my tanks would actually, you know, move at a proper speed instead of 1 kilometer an hour. I think the infantry is actually faster than tanks right now. Yeah, my infantry is outrun... Jesus Christ. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We got what we came here for. We have Astrakhan. Just quickly redeploy all of the infantry. Redeploy the armor to set up on this bank. And the armor can clean up the pockets. I am going to make use of the armor the most, simply because that will reduce my casualty penalties. Good. Okay, so with that done, that's a good first hit to the German army. Let's quickly evaluate the rest of the front. Stable. And now we start killing Germans by the hundreds, thousands, millions. So many Germans trapped and ready to be crushed. Love to see it, love to see it. So before we start any of this, I should have checked this early, but 4.2 million losses, and we've inflicted 5.8 million casualties on the Germans already. So you were fighting and fighting hard. I am impressed, but I'll finish the job for you. You've done well. You've actually done very well up until now. And there we go. The Patriarch takes charge. We are now the Third Rome, led by Santa Claus. I love that color though. Third Rome. Nice. Let's just go for Tankograd, I guess. This also looks like a good amount of Germans we've got trapped here. So it's not the killing blow, but it's a pretty hefty blow to the German army. I don't need a lot more military factories. I'm just going to focus on building up my railways to make sure the supply keeps flowing. Just like that, the front line already looks a lot healthier. All right, tanks. Next stop, Krasnodar. Let's try and make it funny. Let's get some Germans encircled on the way. Love these pockets. Make it all feel so easy. Sometimes I think they make the game a little too easy. I'll put 3 divisions on this strait crossing. I'm not going to push into Crimea from here. Going to redeploy them to the opposite side of the front, and we're going to push for the supply hubs near Grozny. I want to starve the Germans, and if I can get really, really stupid encirclements in while I'm doing that, all the better. Yeah, they got nothing on me. I'm gonna push half of my tanks south towards Baku, cut this railway. I'm gonna push the other half towards Grozny and cut that railway, and that will make sure none of those units up there ever have supply again. And I know this is going to be costly. I'm gonna start an infantry offensive towards the south. Just push the Germans so they can't redeploy their troops effectively. And if they can't redeploy their troops, there's nothing they can do to stop me. And I am going to go and try to close the pocket here using these tanks. Oh, the entire Caucasus front has been encircled and will be destroyed. And I'm actually going to pull the tanks out because I have other plans for the tanks. They can go elsewhere. Germans have completed their little shuffle around, so it's not as great as it used to be, but we still have opportunities here. I'm going to try to cut off a good portion of the German army. Encircle and destroy, encircle and destroy. Well, after seeing what we managed to do in the Caucasus, I am feeling ambitious. All right, time to start trucking towards Kharkov. And in the north here, I am going to make use of Operation Kutuzov. More bonuses that will help me achieve my goals, hopefully. Along with infantry offensives to pin the enemy flanks into place so they can't respond. Same for the south, pin them into place so they can't really go and help their comrades. Yeah, once you break through, you really break through. It's like they have nothing behind the front. Oh, it almost feels stupid, but we've got an encirclement. And because we cut along the railway, we actually have a decent encirclement. While we're here, I'm gonna cut towards this place, and who knows, we might actually get something encircled. And I'll use the infantry to close this pocket here. Okay, so that plan might have been a bit too ambitious, but we forced a significant breach. Yes, I think we've done it. Yep. We've got that section encircled. Now to push towards Sevastopol, and if we can get to Sevastopol, they will effectively be cut off. They will not have access to the sea anymore. Now just to move the infantry around, this is pretty much crushed, so close that. To the north, everything is hunky-dory. I'll start cutting there soon once I've retaken Sevastopol. Oh, look at it go. Just look at them go. We've got them. German casualties have to be disgusting at this point. This is one of those encirclements that breaks the back of an army. And they've got plenty of troops left. I think, yeah, they've got plenty of troops left, but these are casualties in the long term, they will not be able to replace quickly enough for it to matter. You can tell we've created another giant bulge, so I'm going to be cutting here, and then I'm going to start cutting around Lithuania. And I'm just going to whittle down the German army until there's not enough of it left to stop us. So many divisions here, and a railway gun. Maybe we can capture it. Oh, the British took it. And so falls Sevastopol, and we have reclaimed Crimea. Not bad for, what, 6 months work? We've got the Caucasus back, we got Crimea back. Most of Ukraine, I think. Let's start cutting here. So a half here. We'll push towards Shostka. The other half can push towards Shostka from the north. Yeah, the armor's unstoppable. It's It's so stupid and I love it. Another massive encirclement created, and we'll close that as quickly as we created it. That is a lot of divisions. So far our casualties haven't really gone up much, but the German casualties have by several million. Operation Bagration, let's go. We need to retake Minsk, and we're already right outside Minsk. And we're at Gomel now. Okay, so I'm like 2 steps outside of, well, another massive pocket. I would be an idiot not to take this opportunity to try and create it. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just on my way to create one of the most disgusting encirclements of the war. You know, as you do. As you do. They are fiercely defending their last-ditch effort of defense. Last-ditch effort or no, a forced attack should see them pushed out. And come on. Close it. Yes! Look at that! Another massive encirclement. Tanks can set up there, and I'm gonna clean that up with the tanks. Like I said, I want to minimize my casualties. The simple joy of encircling the enemy. Is there anything quite like it? I don't think there is. Well, we've just encircled that part of the front as well, and we're right outside Vilnius. And that has unlocked the Vilnius offensive, but we're out of command power to get it. Would have been nice, but I don't think we'll need it. And I don't think casualties are going to be much of a concern at this point. I'll just leave the infantry to close the pocket. Massive casualties again, as we'd expect. Love to see it. Wow, this is a majority Italian pocket, it seems. Ooh, this is a lot of divisions we've got encircled here. Now crush that so I can redeploy. This feels very good to achieve. Oh, and they're gone. They are gone. I think we've inflicted like 4 million casualties on Germany since I started, and I've not even taken 500,000. Okay, a couple more tiles. We're outside Königsberg. Come on. Come on, take Königsberg. Infantry move in so we don't get encircled. That is very, very important here. Okay, so we're not able to take Königsberg. I'm pushing towards Memel. Maybe we can take Memel. Oh, maybe not Memel either, but the tile above Königsberg. Maybe you can do that? Come on, we need to create an encirclement here. We need to do damage. A lot of damage. Ooh, they're pushing me back. Gotta start my tank offensive to their north and I'll be able to turn this around. Should be able to at least. It would help if my tanks weren't moving at 1 kilometer an hour. Just a little bit more and we'll have it. We're outside Königsberg. I think we're gonna take Königsberg with a little bit of luck. Oh my god, we didn't. I think we've cut this section in half and circled the northern ports, I guess. We'll use the infantry to drive them into the sea. Tanks. What are the tanks doing? Not much useful. They're just stacking so many divisions here. It's absurd, and now they've somehow managed to open this back up as well. Sometimes I think they make the game a little too easy. Oh, we shall try a different approach. Let's attack. Oh! Okay, so the different approach worked the first time. Still a respectable pocket. Oh, I hate the way fronts work sometimes. Let's see to it that this gets collapsed quickly and I can keep the front moving forward. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with the north. They simply have too many units stationed there for now. Well, the north wasn't working out, so we'll try breakthrough in the south. Romanians are fairly weak. I'm just afraid it's going to overextend my lines, but we have to try something because it's a bit of a deadlock otherwise. And we're in Bucharest already, so that wasn't particularly difficult. Okay, I might even be able to knock out Bulgaria in one go, and I'm going to start an infantry offensive on the Turkish front as well to keep those units busy and maybe exploit the fact that everything's going to shit for the Germans. Except for the north, like they've really dug in up here. Oh, there goes Legionary Bulgaria. That was easy. And looks like solid progress on the Turkish front as well. And there go the Italians, and the Swiss are here to party as well. Oh god, this front's getting longer by the minute. Okay, so Legionary Romania is out. The Axis miners are falling at a respectable rate at least. I just need to knock out Turkey. That will give me a lot of freedom to maneuver as well. They are starting to fall. It's just frustratingly slow.
Alright, before we continue this recording, just a little heads up. I've been sick for the last couple of days. I've left this as is. I've not touched this in a few days. And you can probably tell my voice is not quite what it's supposed to be. But we're gonna record this and we'll see what happens. But if I sound a little bit off, that is why. Now, where was I? We have more Germans to destroy. Where are my tanks? There we go. Let's kick off things and get rid of what's left. Right, so I appear to have forgotten about some of the German units still stationed in Turkey. We'll mop those up using one infantry army. The other infantry army is moving on to the Yugoslav-German border, and because Denikin was very experienced, I was able to give him expert delegator, means he can have 7 armies under his command. I've just moved the 2 30-unit armies into his army group. So we have a very long front line, yes, but we have a lot of armies to cover it. Down downside is, though, we are operating in a terrain filled with mud, but fortunately our tanks are good enough and we have the air cover for it not to be a real issue. I'll use the infantry to clean that up, considering I have plenty of manpower and equipment to throw around, and I'll use the tanks to exploit this gap, see how far they can go with their breakthrough. I'm gonna cut towards Brest-Litovsk, and that will see the entire center destroyed. Again, the infantry has to move in behind the tanks, otherwise they risk being encircled. Not a great proposition. Oh, this is going very well, very well. We're in Brest-Litovsk. One more tile. Let's support the attack. Oh, no. I was uncareful. There we go. Almost encircled myself there. Ah, that is the entire German center, whatever was left of it, encircled and ready to be destroyed. It would be sensible to use my tanks to clean this up because it's a lot of divisions, but it's mostly all marshes and forests, not ideal operating terrain for your tanks. So instead, I'm going to get the infantry to clean this up with air support and just my sheer numbers. They should be fine. And again, I'm going to use the tanks to see how far I can penetrate into German territory. Right, our tanks have had an absurdly easy time penetrating. I'm going to try and drive towards Danzig, cut off more of the German front. I don't control the Baltic though, so they may be able to ship a lot of troops out still, but just on principle alone, it'll be worth it. Look at that. This is a lot of German divisions and a couple of Hungarian ones ready to be destroyed. I see opportunities everywhere. This is just a matter of cleaning up and we're done. And our troops have entered Danzig or Gdansk, whatever. Now, to purify this region of German troops, we'll use the tanks to clean that up, make sure the infantry follows behind. Oh, that is so many divisions just wiped out. That is 39 divisions there, another 40, maybe even 50 divisions here. Oh man, the casualties. I should check the casualties list. Personally, I've lost 1.2 million men in my offensives, which is a worthy sacrifice, but oh man, the pocket near Danzig was 300,000 men. And I'm curious to see what this one is going to bring. Oh, looks like the Swiss and British have exploited the weak underbelly of Germany. Yeah, let's just start an all-out offensive. Let's get this over with. Once this is cleaned up, I'm quickly going to use the Panzers to eat my Baltic territory. Again, this is rightful Russian land. Not being political, I'm just role-playing. Don't worry, guys. This is rightful Russian clay. Please, NATO, don't kill me. Of course, Latvia joins the Axis. It's not going to do them much good, but that is Latvia back in our hands, and that leaves little Estonia here. I'm sorry, little one. Oh yeah, total collapse of Germany. The Axis are as good as gone. They've taken 17 million casualties, and I've inflicted 12 of those. And that is Estonia out of the way. Oh, draft dodging. Did my war support drop that much? Let's make sure that goes back up. Fall of Berlin, and it's done. Wow, Germany still had some stuff. Impressive. I am going to be reasonable here and just reclaim the former territories of the Russian Empire. I think we had a more or less reasonable peace deal. I think I took back most of the territory of the former Russian Empire, though Krakow, if I'm not mistaken, was not part of it. Maybe Stanislavov not either. But yeah, a reasonable peace deal. This is definitely saved, and we are a very, very thick triple entente. I could now easily join on the side of the allies, well, or my allies, my friends, and wipe out Japan as well. Don't think I want to do that. It's 1947. The game's running a bit slow, but hey, we won. Got massive army, massive industry, and we can take whatever we want at this point. And Poland, yeah, sorry, Poland. I kind of wanted your stuff. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this disaster save. It was a bit different than my usual stuff, but I just wanted to show you guys that if the plan fails, there's no reason to just quit and go home. There's always ways to fix it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the next one too. See ya.